So here we go with this game 5. Okay, this was an easy prediction. If you watched my last video, I alluded to that exactly how the Rockets would come out in this game. And now the series has turned. Okay, so if you notice the totals on this game, okay, it was 226, around 225. After game 4, it became 219. And then let's see, it was 219 for today's game, and now they go into game 6, and the total I believe is 217 or so, or 213 actually. So it's dropped even further. Now that Houston has taken control of it, the total is starting to drop, and that is because of Houston's defense. Okay, they are starting to control the series. If you notice the first game, we had high scoring games, and then all of a sudden we started getting these 90-point games because of the defense. The refs are letting them play more physical, and the Rockets have the advantage. Okay, that is why you're seeing so many missed shots by Golden State, even though they're wide open. Okay, some of these shots are wide open. Quinn Cook took a 3-point shot that, if he makes that shot, Golden State has the lead, right? But the reason why the guys are missing these shots, these wide open shots, is because they're already funneling the ball to Durant. Okay, in isolation. Steve Kerr is already in full denial mode, basically, in his press conference. He basically says that it's a good option to go to Durant on the block, isolated, but that's not how Golden State plays. Okay, they are playing into Houston's hands right now, and Houston has the edge. So even though it looks like Golden State is getting wide open looks from Houston, the chaos that Houston is playing defensively is causing disruption in Golden State's rhythm, because they're not ISO shooters, basically. They run a very unique system and a unique offense, and when that's not working, everything falls apart. That is why you're seeing missed open looks from these guys. They're not missing them on purpose, okay? Quinn Cook didn't miss that 3 on purpose. A lot of people would say, oh yeah, he missed the 3 on purpose. It's the disruption of the defense from Houston that is disrupting the offense of Golden State throughout the whole entire game. Don't forget, they play a 48-minute game, and that's disrupting their offense. Okay, so they're not going to just completely snap out of it and start making these open looks after they've been missing shot after shot after shot. But see, Houston has the advantage in that type of style because of the fact that they play more of an isolation type of game. They have more ISO players that can create for themselves. Okay, Golden State is really getting exposed right now on offense. They're really getting exposed. They don't have the type of isolation players that you think they have. Klay Thompson and Steph Curry, particularly, and Kevin Durant, Stephen A. Smith, the fraud himself. Okay, the guy. All he does is predict losers and cause people to lose money. He's saying that Kevin Durant disappeared when it counted most. I mean, they're giving the ball to Durant on every possession and having him create the offense for them. He hasn't choked in this series or in this game. Okay, so he didn't disappear at all. It's the lack of they're not trusting their offense or anything that they do. So they're just giving him the ball, and that's why he's missing the shots, because they're not in rhythm, and he's basically their only ISO player that can shoot over anybody. Okay, so Stephen A. Smith has it all wrong here. If you take a look at the press conference by Steve Kerr, he obviously said, he's not going to admit, that Houston is controlling the series now. He said he's completely happy with what he sees and all this, but he's just in denial mode because he knows that Houston is disrupting their offense because of their good defense. The defense for Golden State is obviously getting exposed, and they're not as good. So that's basically what's happening in the game. That's what you're seeing. That's why you're seeing these missed open shots for Golden State. They're not making anything, okay? Because it's in Houston's favor. Even though Houston, you know, is just one shot away from thinking, okay, Golden State's going to go on this big run, and it looks like Houston is in panic mode. They're really comfortable this whole entire game, okay? If you look at the way they play, they're comfortable in everything they're doing right now. So it looks like Golden State is missing, and Houston's getting lucky because they're missing these open shots. No, they're not getting lucky. They're just disrupting them, and Houston is completely comfortable. Eventually, that can backfire though, because of the fact that they're giving guys open looks. But the offense, the defense that Houston is playing on Golden State, that's what's causing it. Okay, so now we're going to look at the percentage on this game, and I'm going to show you exactly what the line did and what the sharps and public were doing in this game. Okay, this is how it went, right? Now, Houston opened as a 1-point favorite here, -1-point favorite. And don't forget, the percentage, I'm not going to pull that up right now, but the percentage on Golden State was obviously lopsided, okay? It wasn't crazy lopsided, but it was like 60-40, basically, okay? It opened up at 70%. Obviously, they're going to get some money on Houston, but it dropped to about 60%. But let's not worry about the percentage too much, okay? We know that more bets are going to be taken on Golden State because they are the favorite. They are the public favorite. And based on what happened in the previous game, you know where most of the tickets are going to go. Okay, so they opened Houston as a -1-point favorite. And look at the line history on this. It's very interesting, okay? This is how you read lines. And this game in particular was very easy, a very easy read, because this stuff becomes very repetitive. Once you've done it long enough, it becomes repetitive, and you pick up on some things, okay? And you know, some of them are more some games are more challenging than others, obviously, and that's due to the lines. But if you take a look here, this game opened up at 1. All right. This right here is a misprint. You know, it says it's opened up at -3. I believe this was the second half line. So sometimes that gets misprinted for the game line. But the opener was -1 here, okay, on Houston. Now, notice what happened here during the game. I'm going to scroll up and notice what happened. You see this line, how it's a favorite, and moved to -1 Golden State, right? So immediately when that Houston line came out, the very first moment, you started to see Golden State money come in, okay? And that's public action coming in. People are just, you know, betting Golden State right away. And that's all Golden State money pushing this line, okay? Because the game hasn't leveled out yet. There's a very little volume on it. So any bet coming in, you know, is going to push the line, basically, because it's starting to level out. Now, big bets are coming in on Golden State. Don't forget the limits are a lot lower when you first bet, okay? So we got Golden State money coming in here. They flipped the line, which it's not that hard to do with a little bit of a volume of money, okay? Then we get more Houston action here, okay? You see this? You see how it flipped back? Now we got Houston action. Okay, so we don't know for sure what is going on. It's just, you know, multiple bettors coming in on both sides right now. Okay, this is where it starts to become more evident that Houston is going to be a play here. Okay, so we got it back at -1, and then look what happens. The day of the game, okay, here we go. The day of the game, it flipped back to -1 here. You see this? Okay, so now we have something, right? This game has already leveled out practically, and we got a -1 here. And look what happens. It completely flips back the other direction. So now this is confirming like sharp money coming in on Houston here. So they're taking multiple hits on Houston here, and they flipped the line back after the public pushed it back to Golden State. So basically, this is a public versus a sharp action play. The public is going against the sharp bettors in this game. All right. So that is what you're seeing here. And as you notice, it keeps going back and forth, and then finally it ends up with Golden State -1 here. Okay, because of the fact that Golden State, all right, public action always outweighs sharp action at the end of the day. Okay, it doesn't matter because the public is everybody, whereas sharp action is very high volume bettors. Okay, so at this book in particular, Pinnacle Sports, it closed at -1, this is a very sharp action book. Okay, so there were multiple hits coming in on Houston. Every time this line got to -1 on Golden State, it was immediately bet back to Houston, and at one point the sharp bettors had it at -1.5. Okay, as you see here, you'll see the game end up at 1.5 here. Let's see if I could find it. Okay, here it is, 1.5, and then it was brought all the way back to -1. Okay, so there was a lot of sharp action coming in on Houston here. Every time this line got to 1.5, the sharp action was taking and grabbing this +1.5 and betting Houston. That's what was flipping this line here. And that is the same thing that was happening on every book. But, some books get different types of action because of the fact that, these two books right here, Bovada and Sports Interaction, these are public books. So you're going to see a lot difference with the line history compared to these two books right here, Pinnacle and Bet Chris. Okay, so that is basically what was happening in this game. It was a sharp action versus public action, and obviously the public action lost. Okay, because Houston ended up winning this game, covering it, and the sharp action ended up winning on this game. Okay, so that is basically how you read this line here. And as you notice, if you notice some of the history here, you'll notice that this line got to 1.5 on Houston here, and it was getting hit like in the morning around 3 a.m. And they were betting this game. Look at this right here at 5:47 a.m. It got hit from 1 to 1.5. Here again at 5:45, 1 to 1.5. Okay, so somebody was hitting this Houston team very hard at these hours of the morning, 3:35 in the morning. Okay, which would be 6:30 in the East. Okay, so basically Houston was getting tons of action from sharp bettors, the big time bettors. Okay, whereas Golden State was taking the bulk of the action with less, they were taking the smaller bets. Obviously, more money was coming in on Golden State, but smaller bets from each individual person. Okay, so that's basically going to do it in this video, and I explained everything I needed to explain how the series is unfolding, and I'll be back with some more videos coming soon. So comment, rate, and subscribe. Thanks for watching my videos, and I'll see you then.